Mars in Virgo. Because Mars in Virgo is an analyst, detail-oriented, I would call them aggressively right. They will calculate everything down to the smallest decimal point. They like to take a productive, realistic approach to things. They're very systematic, and they often like to work alone because, well, let's be honest, nobody is as good at the job as they are because they're always right. But really, they probably are right. They are so obsessive that they will look into things on a much more calculating level than most everybody else. The only thing that really holds them back is how long their to-do list is. Their mind is constantly putting together lists and thinking about what needs to be done. And it can get difficult to do what they need to get done while they're so busy making lists. They are also such perfectionists that they will want to do something 100%. So it might take a while, but it will be the best of whatever it is that you have ever encountered. I would also call a Mars in Virgo aggressively obsessive. The whole world could be praising their work. They almost never come away feeling a sense of accomplishment because if it's not 100%, then it's a disappointment. Also, strangely, a lot of Mars and Virgos have vertigo or seasickness, things that are related to a perfect scenario when life is just not perfect, like being on choppy water. This makes a Virgo in Mars's mind just go so fast they cannot even keep up. They are extremely productive people. They're very, very organized, and they are the best at creating systems that solve problems. A Mars in Virgo, probably the best surgeon you can have because of their precision. I mean, let's be honest, you really don't want a surgery to go 98%. It really needs to be 100%. Even if it takes an hour longer, that's okay. So for jobs for a Mars in Virgo, I would definitely recommend something where perfection is required, where you really have to hone into the problems in the details. Because they're such perfectionists, they can be quite critical of other people because other people don't have that same attention to detail. And this criticism is not emotional. They probably don't even know they're doing it. To them, it's just an analysis of a situation, just the same as everything else, the nuts and bolts in their head. So as a Mars in Virgo, it's really difficult to take a subjective approach to handling problems. A Mars in Virgo just wants to go objectively, take the quickest, most efficient route to solving the problem, but of course, people are not simple and efficient. So about the only problems that a Mars in Virgo struggles with are relationship ones, things that don't go off of the perfect system. People are not really systems. We're like squiggly, meandering rivers. But most Mars and Virgos know this. That's why most of the jobs that they'll do is something where, like a surgeon, where they are working with their hands and their mind. Maybe there will be some people assisting them, but it's not a team as much as it is a hierarchy. And they only get really, truly aggressive or angry when they're forced into working with somebody or where they're forced to do a project in a way, let's say by their boss, that is inefficient. This just makes a Mars in Virgo go crazy. This is like the vertigo in their head. Like the tree is just a little crooked, and then this is crooked, and the house wall is this way, and before they know it, wouldn't it be perfect to live in the Sims world and everything is just aligned properly? Probably not something anyone else thinks about other than a Mars in Virgo. They are also extremely self-critical, obviously. Critical of everything, but themselves more than anyone else. And because of that, they don't like somebody to hover over them or watch them while they're working. They need complete concentration because once somebody's watching, then they start to second guess themselves. So they really don't prefer to have an audience or put on a show. They prefer to do what they love, which is usually working. And they don't always need praise or adoration, although a little is good, maybe after the fact. But just don't hover over. For them, they don't need or want a competition or a team. Truly, the real competition for them is perfecting and mastering whatever they are obsessing about. And if they're obsessing about you, lucky you. Because they will know you on such an intimate level in every little detail. Like they will truly see you. And also they will put their effort towards doing stuff for you. It's not enough for them to just say something nice or say, hey, I think you're beautiful. If they want to show you appreciation, they're going to do something to show it, something that is real. They're great with details, and Mars and Virgo also, they often love work. Like they need work. Even if they can complain about it or obsess about it, if they didn't have it, they would go kooky crazy. They do not like to be idle, just sitting around. Maybe they can do it for a few days, but after that, it's like, okay, what's next? Sometimes they're really annoyed by people that are just talkers. If you say something and then you just don't do it, a Mars and Virgo won't have much respect for you. Even though a Mars and Virgo might know that they are the best at something, they probably don't come off that arrogant because they are still criticizing themselves constantly and trying to perfect and master what they do. Sexually, so Virgo is often seen as like the virgin, or it's seen as so finicky and detail-oriented and a perfectionist. But remember, it's also an earth sign, and earth signs are very physical. A Mars in Virgo, surprisingly, is actually often very sexual. They will obsess about you, and they will obsess about getting all the details right to make sure that you're content. They can also see sex as just sort of a ritual or like a habit or like taking a shower. So it can be one night stands, it could be something that's just necessary and they're not even really that into you until they find the right person, of course. Or they might, just like the virgin, wait for the perfect person. Only has relationships with one person in their whole life. That is a very Mars and Virgo thing to do. They're often best with someone that has a calming energy, someone who's going to just help to chill out their neuroses, to make them laugh or whatever calms them down, to really make them feel like they're enough, because they never feel like they're enough. If you can do this for them, then they are always in tune. They're always passionate. They will always give you their best. They will always be there for you. They're committed. They'll probably go all night if you want them to. They might also be turned on by showers and water because of the cleanliness aspect, or washing your hair or something like that. They're kind of sophisticated and dirty at the same time because detail-oriented, but also the earth sign, which is all natural. Innocent and sweet, sort of the nun porn star dynamic going on, or the librarian. And a lot of why they are so sexual is because of repressed energy, because of their constant self-critiquing, and this is one of the times when they can just relax, hopefully. So if you're a woman with a Mars in Virgo, you probably like a man who is a little neurotic, perhaps, probably intelligent, hardworking, detail-oriented, someone who likes to serve other people, someone who likes to be very giving, someone who's practical, self-critical perhaps, very generous with their energy and their time, and someone who gives you love in a real way, not just words. All right, hope you guys like my take on Mars and Virgo. Come back for the next video.